So this next story might raise a stink. Every year, countless vegetables are thrown away. And we're not talking about the leftovers in your fridge, people. We're talking about tons and tons of unused produce that doesn't even make it to the dinner table. Instead, it hits a landfill straight away. And that's where we find Maggie Rulli. Let us take a look.
Your total is $504.
Let's be honest. This pimpled potato, this cross-legged carrot, and this persimmon with a bit of a proboscis
Got a little nose, a little hat.
would definitely not make your first pick on a supermarket shelf.
Just that little imperfection means you're not going to get to eat this.
In fact, produce that's not perfect usually won't even make it to the stores because they know most often consumers won't bite.
If it doesn't fit a perfect standard that's established with the USDA in conjunction with growers, then it sometimes will be either used to make, say, applesauce if it's an imperfect apple, or sometimes it'll just go straight to the landfill.
I mean, I would literally take a bite out of this, but I won't. This apple has already found its way to the Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority. In other words, it's a bit down in the dumps. Salinas Valley is known as the salad bowl of the world, and 70% of the nation's lettuce is grown here. But a lot of it gets tossed, and not in a good way.
See little cherry tomatoes coming out? So this one would be a very smelly one.
And nobody sees more grub turned garbage than Caesar. And we aren't talking the salad.
So this one's got some cilantro in it. The boxes have been in here for a while.
Caesar Zuniga is the operations manager at this facility. About how much produce do you guys see turn up as waste every day?
We see anywhere, it could be anywhere from 40 tons to 80 tons, 3 or 4 times a week.
A lot of the food still had weeks before it was scheduled to expire. We're seeing hundreds of bags of bagged broccoli, bagged veggies, bagged produce. Look at this, an entire container of cherry tomatoes. Even though they haven't expired. Oh wow, they're not even slimy or anything. By the time they're shipped across the country, they may be too close to the sell-by date, making them unappealing to shoppers.
People do not buy it, they buy the stuff in the back. I want it to last 2 weeks. You know, if it's gonna expire in 3 days, I don't wanna buy it.
About 40% of the U.S. food supply gets wasted each year. Oh, another huge bag of ready-to-eat kale. That's more than 20 pounds of food per person every month. It's also a waste of resources. In 2012, nearly a third of our country's fertilizer, fresh water, and cropland went towards growing food that was thrown away. And if that isn't enough to make your tummy turn, get this. As all of this uneaten food breaks down in landfills, it releases massive amounts of methane gas, which contributes to global warming and harms the environment.
It's always amazed me how much is thrown away. And I've always had a soft spot for trying to feed more people with less.
Last year, Ron Clark and his team at Imperfect Produce decided to uproot the problem. They purchase fruits and veggies from farmers that most supermarkets won't accept and sell them to customers at half the usual price for food that may be a bit unusual. Some major grocery chains are stepping up to the table as well. Raley's is offering its customers a section in their store to purchase the discounted delectables.
When you eat it, it doesn't matter. If it's got a bump or a bruise on it, you can cut it off, or it's still the same fruit.
That's going to turn into a puree, a roasted pepper over some salmon tonight.
So why fork over the big bucks for perfect produce when you can pay less and take a bite out of food waste? If I wasn't going to be judged, I would open this up and eat it right now. Maggie Rulli, Channel 1 News.
Now, if you care at all about this story, we've got some great tips on how schools can take action to stop food waste. It's up on channel1.com.